They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make.
You woke up to the faint rustling sound of someone moving around the bedroom. Rubbing your eyes, you looked around to see your husband Jungkook standing by the mirror while adjusting his tie to the perfection. You took a deep breath, gathering up some courage. Good morning, Jungkook. Would you like me to make breakfast for you? You asked softly, sitting on the bed. Jungkook looked at you through the mirror and then shook his head as if he didn't want to waste his precious words. Your heart sank. It's been a week since you got married to Jungkook. It was not a marriage or forced marriage. This was a simple and arranged marriage, which your parents arranged for you. You were really happy with this marriage, but his coldness make you feel scared sometimes. Jungkook was not like any other man. He was different. He didn't want to commit to you until the developed feelings for you. Your mother had told you on your wedding day that arranged marriages take time to develop into something more, but still his coldness was making you disheartened. Mayan, do you need help in fixing tie? You asked, getting up from the bed. Jungkook, no, I am almost done. He replied in his cold voice while turning his attention back to his tie, giving it one last tug. Spraying his favorite perfume on his body, he grabbed his briefcase and walked to the downstairs. You quickly brushed your teeth and changing into a red dress that reached above your knee, you ran to the downstairs. You saw Jungkook greeting his mom with a smile as she was having her morning breakfast in the dining table along with her younger son, Felix. Wine. Good morning, Mom, you said, greeting his mother while sitting on the chair beside her. JK Mom. Morning, sweetheart. Now Wine has come. Sit here and have breakfast with my pretty daughter, she said, commanding him in her stern voice. Jungkook, Mom, I already need to go. It's important, he said, looking at his mom, who shook her head. JK Mom. Right now you need to accompany your wife. Everything is new for her. Why you don't make her feel good here? She asked, almost glaring at him. Jungkook sighed, forcing a smile at Felix, who smirked teasingly, looking at Jungkook. Felix, well, Oppa, when you are taking my annual moon, you barely took a time to get off after wedding, he said, chuckling at Mrs. Jeon, who thumbed up a little in a way that you both couldn't notice. Your face turned red as you looked down at your plate to hide your blushing face, Jungkook. We have not planned yet. Work's been busy, he said while adjusting on his chair. JK Mom, then you must plan, son. You and Vivian should go somewhere nice, she said, glancing at Jungkook, whose face tensed up. Jungkook always preferred his work over his personal life and he didn't like to get forced for anything. But he couldn't simply say no to his mother. Jungkook, I will think about it, Mom, he said after a long pause while his hands playing with a fork in his plate. Felix, no man, what there is to think about. Look at your beautiful wife, he said, being blunt, or words just slipped from his sharp tongue. But soon his Mrs. Jeon made him stop by yelling at him. Stop nonsense and eat your breakfast peacefully, she glared at Felix, who mumbled sorry. Hearing his dark voice, you had already went into your dreamland. Jungkook, I am done. I gotta go now. He cleared his throat dramatically and stood up before giving you a stare. JK Mom, okay son, take care, she said, and with that Jungkook left for his work. You were blushing while looking at his disappearing figure, Felix. Oh, come on, Mayani, stop blushing. I guess you are watching a lot of K-dramas, that's why you are behaving like this, he said, snapping you back to the reality. Coughing dramatically, you looked at your mother-in-law, who was giggling, looking at your bright red face. Time skip. You were in your bedroom using your mobile phone while glancing at the wall clock. It was around 9 o'clock at night, the time when Jungkook usually comes back. Meanwhile, your mobile phone rang, which was placed on the bedside table. Grabbing it from the table, you glanced at the caller ID. It was Nancy, your best friend. Your face lit up as you quickly answered the call. Ryan, hey Nan, how are you doing? You asked, making yourself comfortable on the bed. Nancy, I'm fine. Tell me about your marriage life. She asked in a teasing way. Ryan, it's fine. You paused, sighing. Nancy, what do you mean by fine? She asked worriedly. Ryan, not yet. Jungkook says that he won't get into me until he feels something for me. Maybe he is not comfortable. You said, letting out a deep breath. Nancy, oh God, then you will have to make him feel comfortable. She said with a mischievous smile. Ryan, but how? You asked, frowning your eyebrows. Nancy told you about the plan, which made you open your eyes wide. And Ryan, no, I won't. It's wrong. You protested, your cheeks heating up. Nancy, oh come on, Ryan, he's your husband and there is nothing in it. Okay, I'm cutting the call now. I need to get ready for Yunjin. He must be coming home. She said, cutting the call, Ryan, but you sighed and got up from the bed. You didn't have any other choice, so you walked to your wardrobe and took out a hanger which was of no use. It was gonna hover in front of him. Sighing heavily, you slipped into it and walking back to your bedroom with rosy cheeks, you quickly pulled off on a blanket so you were too shy to come in front of Jungkook. Ryan, I won't spare you, Nancy, for this, you said, shivering with the cold. After 10 minutes, your bedroom door slowly opened and Jungkook entered in, making your heartbeat race faster. He took a glance at you before going to the bathroom to freshen up. Jungkook spoke. After a tiring day, finally I came back home. As I opened the door to my room, I saw Ryan sitting on the bed. I took a glance at her and she looked up at me, giving me a slight smile which I almost ignored and headed to the bathroom as I really needed to get myself relaxed by taking a warm shower. 10 minutes later, I came back in my room and found seeing her sitting in the same position, shrugging it off. I walked to her and sitting on the bed beside her, I sighed, tilting my head towards her. Jungkook, Ryan, I want to discuss something with you. I said, looking at her rosy cheeks. Ryan, what? She stuttered. Jungkook, actually, my mom insisted me to ask you for moon, though I convinced her that if Ryan agrees, we might go in the next week, 'cause I have an important deal to crack in this week. So, do you wanna go or not? I asked, glancing at her. Ryan, of course I would, she said, almost squealing. Gulping down, I nodded my head in an understanding way. Jungkook, okay, you can choose the place and later talk to mom, I said, giving her a tap. Why not we choose together? She asked hesitantly. I thought for a while and then nodded, shifting towards her. Ryan also shifted. I sighed, letting it go. Jungkook, what about London? I asked her. Ryan, no, it's not that beautiful, she replied, making a pout. Jungkook, okay then, what about Paris? I asked, looking at her innocent face. Ryan, it's perfect. I wanna go to Paris. It's perfect, she said excitedly. Jungkook, okay fine, we will go there, I said, smiling at her. She was so excited that she started to jump on the bed like a small kid, and between this, her blanket fell off. I was just staring at her like an upset. As soon as realization hit her, she looked up from the blanket, which was now fallen on the bed. Her eyes widened and she looked at me. She quickly tried with her both hands. She quickly jumped off from the bed, but her balance slipped. She fell on the floor. Jungkook, are you okay? I asked, walking to her, but before I could help her to get up, she quickly got up and entered the bathroom, making me chuckle at her cute behavior. Messing up my hair, I walked to the bedroom and started to work on my laptop, only to divert my attention from her. But this was not gonna happen. After 10 minutes, she came out of the bedroom and ran to the downstairs before I could utter some words. If she was this much uncomfortable, I thought. Arthur spoke. You ran to the kitchen with bright red face. Why and what are you making? You asked to the head chef. Head chef, ma'am, we are making a lot of things like kimchi bibimbap, chapchae, steak bibimbap, mashed potatoes along with curry, and Master Jungkook's favorite salad, she said, giving you a warm smile. Wine, okay, I will make tonight's dinner, you said, smiling back. Head chef, but madam, Mrs. Jeon will scold us if she saw you doing work. You are a new bride, you should have rest, she said, trying to make you understand. Miss Wyan, no, Miss Tuja, I am fine with it. Go and do other work. She replied gently to her. She bowed down and left the kitchen with other maids who were cutting the vegetable when Mrs. June entered in. Mrs. June, Wyan dear, what are you making dinner tonight? She asked, seeing you perfectly chopping the onions. Wyan, oh, Eoma, I was just getting bored, so I thought to make dinner. She said, putting the chopped onions in the pan. Mrs. Jeon, oh, if you need any help, you can ask me. I am going in the living room, she said, and you nodded. After an hour, the food was prepared as you were setting the table. Mrs. Jeon, Wyan, would you please go and call Felix? She asked from the living room, as she knew Felix won't wake up until someone go and wake him up. Wyan, yes, Eoma, you replied, placing the last plate on the table. You rushed to the bedroom. You were standing in front of the room door as you knocked at it, but there was no response, so you assumed that he was sleeping. You decided to check it. As you opened the door, you saw Felix sleeping on his bed, while Jungkook was sitting on the bed using Felix's laptop. Jungkook looked at you through the laptop. As his eyes widened looking at you, he glanced at the Felix. He quickly ran to Felix. Jungkook, what are you doing here? He asked, walking to you. Wyan, you must send me to wake Felix up for dinner, you said, looking at him with your innocent eyes. Jungkook, oh, I will wake him up. You go downstairs, he said. Wyan, okay, well, what were you doing in Felix's room? You asked, raising your eyebrows at him. Jungkook, what, are you doubting me? He asked while frowning. She shook your head while making a pout. Jungkook, actually, I had to send an important mail to my clients and my laptop had run out of the battery. He said, justifying himself. He made an owl face and then walked to the downstairs. Jungkook chuckled at your childish behavior. He turned around to see Felix sleeping peacefully. Jungkook, hey Felix, wake up, he shouted. But Felix didn't move an inch. Jungkook groaned, seeing around as he saw water in the glass which was placed on the side table. He quickly picked it up and threw it on Felix. Felix grasped, jumping on the bed. Felix, Opa! He groaned, making an annoying face. Jungkook, you weren't waking up, so I had to do that, and the next time, get up early, he said coldly, looking at him. Felix, oh, did she came in my room? He asked, fixing his messy hair. Jungkook, yeah, she came to call you for the dinner. Now get up, he said, rolling his eyes at him before leaving his room. Reaching the dining table, he saw you serving food to his mom. He smiled and then sat on the chair. You went to him and served him the food. Jungkook, no, you sit. I will serve you the food, he said, dragging the chair a little behind so you could sit on it. You nodded with a blushing face and sat on the chair beside him. Mrs. June looked at both of you and smiled. In the meantime, Felix came as he sat on the chair next to Mrs. June. Felix, hey Mayani, please serve me the food, he said with fake puppy eyes. Jungkook, you have hands, my dear brother, so you use them, he said, giving him a toothy grin. Time skip. You were sitting on your bed using the mobile phone while Felix and Mrs. June had went to their room. Jungkook had to meet his friend in club, so he went. It was around 12 o'clock and you were waiting for Jungkook to return back. Suddenly the doorbell rang. You got up from the bed and rushed to open the door. As you opened it, your eyes widened, seeing Jungkook, whom Jimin was holding. Jimin, hey sister-in-law, actually we were in a club and Jungkook had some, I guess it was "What's wrong?" he said, forcing a smile at you. Your mouth was slightly opened as you were looking at Jungkook. It was your first time seeing him in this condition. "Why, and thank you for dropping him home, Jimin," you said, bowing at him. Jimin, "Oh, no problem. He's just smiling at you." You went to Jungkook and grabbing his hand, you put it on your shoulder while your other hand was gripping his fall. Your pace slowed as you took him to the upstairs. "Jungkook, Wayne, you are so kind and beautiful," he said as you made him lie on the bed. Your cheeks flushed as you heard him calling you beautiful for the first time. "You lay here. I will go in the kitchen and will make drink for you," you said, trying to walk forward. Jungkook held your hand. Your heartbeat raced faster. "Jungkook, I like you, Wayne, but I don't know how to tell you that I feel my heartbeat races seeing you. But my coldness doesn't make any express." Your heartbeat raced faster and few tears dropped on your cheeks. By hearing his words before you could digest his words, he looked at you with a smile. You wanted to hide your feeling. You didn't even realize when he was making you, so you couldn't make. The next morning, Jungkook got up with severe headache at you and blushed as he recalled. Getting ready, he walked room. "Jungkook, don't be shy," he said, winking at you, and then he walked to the downstairs. Your cheeks heated up, hearing his words. With red face, you got up from the bed. 2 days later, you were sitting in the living room, smiling to yourself as you were thinking about Jungkook. Meanwhile, your mother-in-law came in the living room as her eyes sparkled, looking at your blushing face. "Mrs. Jeon, so my daughter is blushing. When do we get here the news?" she said, making your cheeks turn into a tomato. You didn't know how to respond, so you kept quiet, biting your lower lips nervously. Just then Felix entered in the living room with his usual bright enough face. "Felix, what are you both talking about? Are you both planning?" He chuckled, sitting beside you, giving you a gentle pat. "Mrs. June, of course we were planning," she squealed as if she was imagining playing with her grandkids. "Felix, well, Vianney, you are so beautiful and I want my future wife to be like you," he said. His gaze lingered on your face. He glanced at Jungkook, who was hearing your conversation, standing by the doorway. "Felix, Vianney, you have such a lovely smile. I want my future wife to have the same smile on yours," he said teasingly while eyeing his elder brother. Before you could say something, your eyes fell on your husband, who was glaring at Felix. You felt the tension ripple as he looked at you and then at Felix. You knew he was Jungkook could be for you. As an idea came into your mind, you wanted to see his reaction. "Why, and well, Felix, you will get the better wife than me. You know why? Because you are so handsome." You looked at Jungkook, whose hands were clenched now. "Felix, oh, Wayne, you made me shy," he said, placing his hand on your shoulder. "Felix, Wayne, if I ever get married, you will always be for me," he said, smiling at you. Jungkook's nose started to flare. "Jungkook, but she is my wife," he said, glaring at you, giving him a wide smile, "but it's not gonna work on him." As he was pissed off now, Jungkook took you to his bedroom, making your heartbeat race faster. "Mrs. Jeon, they look so cute," she said, clapping her both hands excitedly. "Felix, I also think so." He winked at his mother. You both reached the room. "Mrs. Jeon, oh my," she said, dancing with Felix. Wyan, ah, cook, you mumbled. Jungkook, keep quiet, dear, he said, making you gulp.